Inspired for Purpose, Timely Tune-Up. I'm your host, Ciandra the Actionist. Today we're going to be discussing miracles, and I'm not just talking about any kind of miracle, but a miracle that actually can be performed in your life. If you would like to know more, stand by. So I like reading the Holy Bible because there's all sorts of stories in the Bible that just completely blow your mind. Stories that are stories of heroism, dream-filled, fairy tale-like stories, miraculous stories, horror stories, action-packed, thrill-seeking stories. Just a bunch of live and interesting stories, love stories even. You can't leave that one out. Today, as I was reading the Word, I read a story about a prison break. And it was very interesting because this was a miraculous escape by none other than an angel helping a human like you and me break out of jail. This actually allowed me to see God in a different way. We have those bad boys and bad girls, and I kind of seen this with God, even though we know God is all good. But in the way, like if you're thinking about a movie, it was like, okay, he's sending in this angel to get Peter, that's the gentleman who was imprisoned, to get him out of jail. We see God as loving and kind and sweet and holy, and he is all of those things. But in this situation, he was doing something pretty different. And it was very interesting. God sent an angel, a fellow member of his posse, of his crew, of his team, to get out another human member out of prison, out of the hands of these prison guards. And the story goes on to say that the angel kind of told Peter to kind of, shush it, to be quiet. And I laughed at this because when the angel told him to do this, the chains were literally falling from his hands and from his feet. So you would think that chain, some kind of metal, if it hits the floor, it's going to make some type of clanking noise. So why would you tell Peter to be quiet? I mean, I'm sure this angel had power to keep the prison guards asleep because they didn't hear the chains fall onto the floor. And I'm sure he could have snapped his finger or blinked his eye or whatever it is that they do to keep him and Peter safe while they were breaking out of this prison. I mean, single-handedly, he could have taken these people out. And it led me to believe and think about, how did the angel even get into the jail cell, right? Miracles. He was able to get into the jail cell by the power of God. Go ahead and say it with me. The power of God. How did he get the chains off? The power of God. How did he escape and allow Peter to go to a safe place of passage? The power of God. The power of God was at play here on so many levels in this story. And I say all of that to say this because if you're in prison today, and oftentimes most of us are in some type of prison, whether we put ourselves in it or whether you were put there by law enforcement, but we all have some prison in our lives that we are dealing with on some level or in some dimension. And that prison can be a physical prison, it can be an emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, whatever it may be. The power of God has a posse that is standing by specifically for you, ready to break you free from it all. It just takes a little faith mixed with a little action and belief to make it happen on your part. So I just want to ask you today, will you trust in your chain-breaking, miraculous God today to get you out of the deep, dark, gloomy, self-loathing, pitiful, horrible prison that you're in today? He can do it. He can use the same power that he used then, right now, today in your life, to break you free. He's simply waiting on you to ask. And I know that you can do it. So ask him today to set you free from your prisons. I once heard it said that people oftentimes reach for the stars with short arms. And I had to sit with that and think about it for a bit, because if you're reaching for the stars with short arms, well, you're never ever going to get that star. Well, think of God as being your arm extender. God will not only extend your arms to reach the stars, but he'll give you the strength, the power, and the fortitude to literally take a star out of the sky and allow you to be the star in the movie that he's designed for your life. So go ahead and shine today. Thank you for listening. And as always, you've been on with Leandra the Actionist, love and light, and inspired for purpose.